Meanwhile, we have live team coverage of tonight's Iowa caucuses. News 8's Jonathan Bong is in Davenport with the Democrats, Joe McCoy is in Walcott with the Republicans, and we'll get to them in just a minute because we begin with Jenna Webster in Des Moines, where the anticipation is in the air. Good evening, Jenna.
Hey, Shelby. You know, it's pretty calm right here, right now at the Iowa Event Center, but we still have 2.5 hours until caucus goers even get to actually fill out their ballots and start caucusing. So still lots more to come tonight. But this is where all the results from across the state are going to be pouring in, where we're going to be keeping you guys updated all night long. But let's talk about what some of the expectations are for tonight, because right now Trump has a commanding lead in the polls, almost 30 points. If he continues that momentum into tonight, he could win by the largest margin in caucus history, which his team is very optimistic about that. That is what they're pushing for. But let's talk about the other candidates in the polls. Just in the last few days, Nikki Haley overtook Ron DeSantis, and she is now in second place. When it comes to Ron DeSantis, he has kind of consistently been the one in second place, but he has put the most kind of eggs in his basket. When you talk about his visits to Iowa, he has had more visits to Iowa than Trump and Haley combined. So you could say he kind of has the most to lose, finishing in third place here. But they all want to have that strong second place finish going into New Hampshire next week. They all want to come out that they are strong contenders against Donald Trump. We're going to have live updates from you all night here, of course, coming up late tonight on News 8 at 10. But for now, we're going to send it over to Joe McCoy in Walcott.
Yeah, thank you, Jenna. Out here in Walcott, you can see behind me, they are starting to set up the caucus location here. I'm at Walcott Elementary, and one thing we are really going to be monitoring tonight is how that weather does impact voter turnout. Now, Janita McNulty, who's the leader of the Scott County Republicans, she says on a normal weather night, they're expecting 200 to 250 caucus goers here at Walcott Elementary. Of course, the million-dollar question is, will we see those numbers hit? Now, when we were driving, my photographer and I, when we were driving up I-80 here to Walcott, the roads are not good. There's a lot of ice on the roads, and there's not street lights on these roads. So when that sun goes down, it reaches nighttime. The question is, will these caucus goers come out and brave the elements to come out here and vote? One candidate who could be impacted a good amount by caucus goers deciding not to come out would be Donald Trump, especially here in Walcott. Trump has a large hold on the rural vote. That's where we are in Walcott. We're out here in rural Iowa, and if those voters have real world issues, they have livestock to tend to, they might have a 15-20 minute drive to get to their caucus location on roads that haven't been plowed, haven't been salted. Those are real world concerns for these voters. The question is if those concerns will keep those voters from turning out.
Hi, Joe. It's even quieter here at Davenport North High School as the Democratic caucus is getting set up. They're doing things a little differently this year. So one of the things is that voters will have the option to mail it in, and the results will be tabulated and revealed come Super Tuesday in March. Now, despite that, the Democratic Party is still coming together with the goal of party unity. They want to kind of come together and encourage more voters to support Democratic candidates in general, not just the presidential race, but other roles as well. And that is with the goal of bringing Iowa Democratic voters, here in the Midwest, and aligning that vision closer to what's happening nationally with the Democratic Party. For now, live in Davenport, Jonathan Fong, WQ80 News 8.
Well, it looks like we lost Jonathan's mic right at the end there, but you know what, that's okay, because our coverage of the Iowa caucus continues tonight on News 8 this evening and a late edition of News 8 at 10 after Monday Night Football. We'll also be streaming live all night long on WQAD.com, the News 8 app, and the WQAD YouTube page. You can also get caucus information, including your precinct, by texting the word caucus to 309-304-0888, and we'll get that information sent straight to your phone.